You have read the title and probably think, what's up with them? We have some great web UIs to interact with LLMs. But why build another one? With its own mail app, memory system, and voice agent. Where to get free GPUs?
Listen, darling, I hate to be the one to burst your magical bubble, but finding a completely free, high-end GPU just floating around in the ether is pretty much a myth.
First of all, that's right. We have some great web UIs. Personally, I am using OpenWebUI to interact with my self-hosted models, and it's just great. But I've started, nevertheless, to build my own. For two good reasons. I am missing some features from all other web UIs. Or well, some are there, but implementing them myself is a great learning exercise. Just for the sake of programming and learning is my whole intention. I am teaching myself programming since 2021, and since then, nearly every project has this reason. I want to build it myself and see how it works. In 2022, I've even started creating a PyTorch-like AI framework named Mini AI. It was never efficient or in any way competitive or useful, but it was still a nice experiment from which I've learned much. And that's also the reason for this channel also. I like to show what I've learned and how things work. Another reason is that I've built a LLM framework similar to LangChain, and it turned out really okay. It's not the most complete thing someone has ever created, and some parts are really horrible, not thinking about how bad the 30% vibe-coded parts are. But it's still fun to build with. And also it acts as a platform for me to experiment with new features and ways to interact with AI in general, because I know how everything is built. I can easily modify it. The front end is written in Vite plus Vue, however it is pronounced, this thing on the screen there, and it connects via Socket.io to the Python backend. My whole goal for this project is to make it work well with small models, meaning that you can run everything locally and it should be able to give you a great experience. The project is called Maya, which stands for Multi-Agent Intelligent Assistant. Yeah, I'm overselling it a bit, but let's talk about the current state of the UI and the whole project. Currently, I'm sketching out the mail feature. Currently, I'm sketching out the features I want to build at first into the UI. That's being a custom mail app to sort and organize across multiple mail addresses. This is just a demo with some demo data, but a feature that works and works kind of great is the chat feature that works just like you would expect any other LLM chat to work. It even has a voice agent mode where it can listen to you in real time. For example, if I say something like, "What's up, my dog?"
Not much, darling. Just floating here in the digital ether, waiting for some magic to happen. What is on your mind today?
It's a STT to LLM to TTS pipeline designed to properly handle bargain or any other scenario in real time or as close as real time as possible. For speech to text, I'm currently using the insanely fast Whisper Docker container. The LLM for this example is the Gemma 4 31B, which is just incredible, especially for German tasks. And for TTS, Kokoro is running. The Whisper endpoint is currently used throughout the entire project for any dictation relevant tasks. There's also a deep research option, but that one is probably obsolete. I've changed my view on how and what agents should research. It will likely turn into a source finding tool that crawls the web for important sources to a query and writes a really brief note on what is in which source. Because AI is still hallucinating as shit, relying on it to write a whole report is just stupid. Even the biggest and best models have still a high hallucination rate. And when building with small to mid-sized LLMs, you can be certain that there are some bad info in your deep research reports. Next up is a notes mode, where the user can type down his notes or dictate them. This is probably one of the most sparsely implemented features here, except for the mail feature. I am planning to, of course, add the option for LLM as a side buddy to check grammar or quickly find the proper sources for something mentioned in the notes. Also, currently, notes create their own session in the sidebar, which I'm unsure about. The whole UI is just a bit of a mess and still in the planning phase. So if you have some thoughts, leave them down in the comments. But for the notes, I'll probably just create a dedicated workspace with folders to navigate when clicking on the notes option, but I'll look into that later. And at the end is the memory feature. It is a custom built memory pipeline with some of the core concepts from other projects. It has multiple memory sources, or how I call them, memory tiers, which are maintained solely by the LLM, but of course can be edited by the user. But I'll dig into how that memory pipeline actually works in the next devlog. I have so many ideas for other features that can be added to this whole project, so stay tuned for future videos. Because I'd like to make some more devlogs documenting what I'm doing. I currently don't know if this would ever be open source or in any way published by me, because it's still in a rough and a chaotic state. And for example, proper token counting isn't in place. There's a function for that, but it solely relies on a single set tokenizer from a Quen model and has to be manually overwritten when instantiating an agent. But that was it for this time, so let's see where this road leads me.